What's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and we are back. Where's my remote? Okay, here we go. I had the TV. I had Potomac playing in the background when I was um, in the restroom. Anyways, so we're back, and this is season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm hoping that, we will do away with the Potomac, and we'll just go back to calling them the Real Housewives of Potomac, you know. But right now we're going to stick to what we call them, which is the Real Housewives of Potomac. Um, you know, we're just going to talk. This is the first episode. I have a lot to say. My mind is like racing like 100 miles per hour because I have so many things just like swirling up here. Okay, Karen Huger is the show. Karen is the show. Let me tell y'all something. This season was already shot, signed, and delivered. That first episode was already edited and ready to go. Karen was sentenced to a year in jail. Karen only served 6 months. For them to go back and open up the show with footage of Karen, who just got out of jail, girl, a few days ago. Karen, Karen runs Potomac. They set Karen's car up with a camera, a microphone. No one expected Karen to get out in 6 months. So for them to go back and add this footage to an episode that was 10 times out of 10 already locked, loaded, and ready to press play. Hey, Karen is that girl. Karen is that girl. She's that girl. She's the girl. She's the girl. She is. Shout out to the Grand Dame, even though Sharice really is the real Grand Dame, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Shout out to Karen. Be clear about it, baby. Karen is Potomac. All right, so the girls meet up at Gizelle's $900,000 tear down cabin. Baby, that house looks like Willy Wonka chocolate factory. I don't care what none of y'all say. But I'm telling you, I hate Gizelle's home. I mean, it's more than what I got. At least she's a homeowner, girl. I just got a little apartment. Okay, but when I tell you I despise Gizelle's home, I really, really do. I really, really do. Girl, like I really, really do. Anyways, I'm gonna leave that lady house alone because she got more than what I got. So Ashley is the first to arrive. This is basically, I believe it's at 2 days after Karen was sentenced. So basically, they open up the episode with Karen getting out of jail, which was um, when did Karen get out of jail? It's October. She got out of jail sometime in September. So they basically went back and added Karen getting out of jail, and then they went back, I think 6 months prior, because that's when it was 2 days after she got sentenced that they met up at Gizelle's house. So Ashley's the first to arrive, and they crack jokes throughout the conversation. Ashley said something about, I hope she's in the AARP section. They talked about some of the things she said in the body cam footage. Thomas Jefferson's concubine. Um,
Oh God,
That's what I
I'm
told you.
lit.
Yes, you are lit.
Oh, can you?
That's why you're here.
No.
I will say this. And I'm not saying this just because I like Karen. I do believe in scenarios like this, because this is a reality TV show, somebody needs to bring up the elephant in the room, which is Karen being drunk, right? Karen having 4 alcohol related offenses. I don't know if that person is going to be like, it's only so much if they really consider Karen a friend, there's only so much that they should say. If that was my friend, even though my friend had 4 alcohol related offenses, I'm just not gonna get on TV just to please the viewers and drag my friend. Now I might be disgusted with their actions. I might say they need to be held accountable for what they've done, but I'm just not gonna get on TV and drag my friend. I think that's what Jackie tried to do, and then Mia tried to do, but they really couldn't handle Karen. So now they're meeting up, and I wasn't necessarily mad at Gizelle and what she said. Um, she loves Karen. She thinks that Karen should be held accountable, but she doesn't want to see Karen in jail. But we also know we can't have Karen around here on her fifth, basically DUI. So I wasn't necessarily mad at Giselle's stance, because again, her and Karen throughout the years they've had this roller coaster of a friendship, but I just don't. I don't like. I wasn't mad at her stance. I wasn't. I can hold her accountable, but I'm not going to drag her at the same time. Now the other girls can, if that's what y'all want to do. If y'all don't like the heifer, but I'm not going to drag somebody who I consider a friend. Stacy. We just gonna talk, y'all. Stacy is the new Mia. I've been telling y'all about Stacy. It's not Stacy's fault, though. They started out this franchise based off of a season full of lies. They came in trying to act like, it's a prim and proper. Shout out to Tia, the real prim and proper girl. It's a prim and proper, and we're the etiquette, and this is Potomac, right? And then you had Karen lying about her husband being the Black Bill Gates. So the girl started out with lies, and then the viewers, yes, the viewers are okay with certain people lying as long as they like them. So you open up the door, and y'all are already basically starting off this franchise with just lies on top of lies on top of lies. Fast forward, we get to season 10. Now the girls are upset, are shocked because they feel as though this new woman is also lying. Well, girl, that's what y'all been doing this whole time. So why are y'all shocked that now somebody else has come on board and said, I'm going to get in where I fit in? It was okay when Mia came in season, 6, and was lying from the get-go. And the viewers loved Mia. Don't even try to deny it. People loved Mia. And then when it got to be too teen much with Mia and her lies, the people then turned on Mia. But that's how it happens. It starts out with a little white lie, and then we look up, and then here we are. You see what I'm saying? So now we have Stacy, who most people think that Stacy is lying about her and that Butch Queen from last season.
Hi, Princess.
Hi.
What you doing? Look at you in the morning.
TJ fine as hell. If she don't want to my slam dunk him. Hello? Girl, shorty swing my way. You sure look good to me. Hey, so would you please swing my way? Hey, shorty swing my way. Hey, shorty swing my way. Hey, you sure look good to me. Hey, so would you please swing my way? Hey, shorty swing. Girl, CJ fine. He an old mean Butch Queen, but he fine though. But I think most people are not buying TJ's and Stacy's whatever they were doing last season. Um But again, y'all are okay with people lying. I remember last year at the reunion, Ashley said something along the lines of she was okay with Stacy telling a lie. She was okay with it. That's what Ashley said. Go back and watch the reunion. That's what she said. So for her to now do a 180 and be the one that's all up in Stacy's face, let me tell you one thing about it, two things for sure, three things for certain. Ashley and Gizelle couldn't say a motherfucking thing to me about nothing about no relationship. Girl, we've seen Gizelle bring back on Jamal and nobody bought that they were trying to get back together. We've seen Gizelle with that boy from Summer House who we know like white girls. What was his name? Jason. It gave very much mother and son. I think the last real relationship that Gizelle had on Potomac was Sherman. After that, girl, it's just been a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. Shout out to Aunt Bertha. And then Ashley, who was getting a divorce from Michael for God knows how long. And then I think it was the year before last at the reunion. Remember when she said something about how she rubs Michael's feet? But I thought this is the same man you was getting a divorce from. So the two who have the most to say about Stacy faking a relationship or not telling the truth about her relationship, girl, also have dirt underneath their fingernails and at the bottom of their shoes. It would be one thing if Wendy was probably in Stacy's face questioning her relationship, maybe even Kay. But the two who got the most to say, girl, if you don't get out of my face, you and you. Girl, what did Katie tell Robin and Gizelle like to write Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber. No, oh, you know what? You better shut the hell up.
Oh, it must suck to be you.
Like, girl, y'all can't say nothing to me. Nothing. At all. Girl, low key, Stacy be getting the girls together. If we're gonna be honest. I'm glad they're breaking the fourth wall. She basically told them that she doesn't need to lie to get on TV. She's been on TV before. Yeah, you've been on TV before, but girl, you ain't been on Potomac. We can say what we want to say, but the Real Housewives, girl, that's probably the top of the chain as it pertains to reality TV. Especially for the girls who want to be a housewife. The girls who want to be on reality TV, I bet you they want to be on Housewives. Unless you just ghetto and you want to just be on Zeus fighting. But the girls outside of the Zeus crowd, and even some of those girls feel like they should be on Housewives. You see, Jocelyn talking about, girl, she want to be a Real Housewives of Atlanta. Girl, in the route they going, I'm sure that bitch gonna be on in about 2 seasons. She was already on Married to Medicine. Ugh, I just got disgusted. And then she basically tells Kay, I know it's a sensitive. Stacey was kind of low key getting their asses together. We gonna be honest, because Kay was basically like, "Girl, your relationship is fake. Girl, you was at the reunion trying to squeeze out those tears out those beady eyes." And Stacey said, "I know it's a very sensitive topic for you." Yeah. And then when she said, I'm not the first. When Stacey said, I'm not the first or the last to be hurt by a man, I'm sure everyone here has experienced that. And then Gizelle said, no, Stacey. And then Stacey said, you haven't, Gizelle? She said, you haven't, Gizelle? You haven't been humiliated by a man, Gizelle? Bitch! I said, get her, Stacey. Okay? Because, bitch, I might be lying about that Butch Queen I brought on last season. But, bitch, y'all hoes ain't going to question nothing I got to say. Especially you two. Okay? Baby, Stacey was low-key getting their asses together, we're going to be honest. when she said when she told Gizelle, "You haven't, Gizelle? You haven't been humiliated by a man?" I said, "Get her." I said, "Get her, Stacy." Okay. And then Stacy gets up and leaves. You know, Stacy left twice. You know, I don't like when the girls get up and run. Hold up, y'all. I need to blow my nose. So Stacy, you know, throughout the episode, she left the scene. She left two scenes. She left this scene. She got in her car and left, and then she met up with Ashley later on, and she left that scene. Girl, I don't like when the girls. I mean, it's one thing, I guess, if you feel like if I feel like if we've seen everything, then it's kind of like, girl, I'm gone. We've been shooting, you know. But I felt like the scene with her and Ashley, it was pretty much done. So she was like, girl, I'm gone. I feel like this scene, it wasn't done. So I was like, I don't know how I necessarily feel about Stacy leaving the scenes early. Anyways, so after she left, she storms out. And she basically, Gizelle and Ashley said they ran into a lady, and it was one of TJ's BFFs. And she had the legal documents. I don't know why she would fucking have the legal documents, but she had the legal documents showing that basically Stacy was supposed to be paying TJ 50% of her earnings. Let me just say this, and I hate that we're going backwards. Do I believe Stacy and TJ were together? I absolutely don't believe they were together. I do believe that they were lying. 100%. Do I believe that Stacy was necessarily paying him? I don't think I believe that. I believe that the way that they probably set it up was like, this was just an acting gig for TJ. Something to kind of get his face out there, something to be seen. And I think that TJ probably felt the way when Stacy didn't want him at the reunion, because at that point, girl, I really don't need you anymore. And I think TJ got pissed off and said that Stacy was paying him. I don't think Stacy was necessarily paying him, not with coin. I think the payment was basically being on the Real Housewives of Potomac. But nonetheless, you know, I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I feel like most people didn't buy Stacy and TJ. I think people just love Stacy, so they're giving her a pass like they did with Mia. But eventually, girl, people are going to get tired of Stacy the same way they got tired of Mia. And I'm gonna be the first one down here telling y'all that, girl, y'all knew Stacy was lying from the get go, and y'all were okay with it, just like Mia. Anyways, I thought it was funny. They showed a clip of Wendy. Wendy is basically, what is it called when you redo your house? Not construction. Basically, like redesigning her house. And I thought it was funny when she said, "Let's use this drug money," because you know Eddie has Happy Eddie, and they say it's doing fantastic. He has now moved to two more states, I believe. The money is rolling in, so I love it. Shout out to Dr. Wendy, and shout out to Eddie. Um, and then Stacy, girl, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. The second time I watched the episode, because I watched it twice, I fast forward through Stacy and her husband. Her husband is cute, though. That's a cute ass white man. I will say that. I didn't think he was that cute from the pictures that I saw. Because I remember, I think I went to her Instagram page. I remember seeing pictures of him somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, girl, he ain't even that cute." But he actually is cute. I was like, "Oh." I said, "All right, Miss Stacy." You know, that man got a nice looking face. I said, "Oh, that's a cute white man," but I said, "All right, Stacy." Anyways, Stacy is back with her husband. That's what I'm saying. Like, here, I'm about to get loud. I'm sorry. I don't have time for this confusion. Like, I just don't. I don't have time for it. I don't know what Stacy. So Stacy, okay, I'm starting to get worked up. Stacy is back with her ex-husband. She said they went out, because the only thing I put was Stacy / husband. I put girl ... Those are the only notes I put. From what I remember her saying, they 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 went. I think they went out of town. They went out of town for Christmas. They spent Christmas together. And I guess that brought them back together. The daughter knows that they're divorced, but she doesn't know now that they're back, basically, I guess, dating. Either Stacy has studied Housewives, like, girl, it was the bar, and she is really giving us a show, or either Stacy is a liar. Those are like the only two options. Either she's a liar. No, that's three options. Either either she's a liar. Okay, either she's a liar and she has studied Housewives to a T and she knows how to put a show together, or she's telling the truth. And it's just so chaotic and outlandish to the point where it's so hard to believe her story. People break up and get together all the time. People circle the block all the time. Eva on Atlanta, y'all know Eva, America's Next Top Model Eva. She is back with Michael. And she divorced. They had a $250,000 wedding, I believe. That was an expensive ass wedding. She had a big over the top wedding on TV, and then turned around and got a divorce. And now she's back with her husband. So people get divorced, people break up and get back together all the time. I just think it's hard for me to believe Stacy. It really is. And Stacy could be telling the truth, but I don't. It's just something just gives me that Stacy is lying. Anyways, so Kay is gorgeous. Her mama, baby. When I say baby Kay and her mama, baby eats. Girl, I was looking at them bitches like, baby, them faces is something serious. Baby, I gotta give Kay this, baby. That Kay face ain't nothing to be fucked with. That's a gorgeous bitch, baby. Kay and her mama eats the girls. Her mama name is Michelle. I don't know what are they from from the Caribbean or somewhere? I felt like I was hearing like some type of accent from Kay's mother. But yeah, I was just looking at her like, baby, she is absolutely gorgeous. And Kay is gorgeous too. Um anyway, so Kay has moved into her condo. You know, her and Greg are not together anymore. Well, now they broke up. See, that's what I'm saying. People break up all the time and get back together. Her and Greg broke up. I believe Kay's story. Her and Greg broke up, and then they went on a trip, and then now they're back together, like dating. um, but then the only thing that makes me question Kay's storyline is because didn't she tell us last year that they were building a house? Girl, now how the hell y'all just what happened to the construction of that house, girl? Did she say they were building a house? That condo was nice and it's big. I said, I know she paying a pretty penny for that. And you saw that big ass balcony and that view. I saw a big ass balcony. I saw a view. Yeah, girl. Anyways, um, you know, in Greg's defense, I think a big part of the issue that they probably had was because Greg did not want to film this show. I do believe that the men, because usually it's the men, I do believe that the men do deserve some type of grace when they decide to film these shows to try to support their girlfriends, fiancés, wives, especially if they don't want to do it. Like, I would probably have a very, very, not probably I would have a hard time filming a reality TV show because I don't want to do a reality TV show. So if I was with someone and I'm trying to support them, I'm probably going to have an attitude, and I'm trying not to have an attitude because I don't want people to think I'm an asshole. but I really don't want to shoot this show, and I got this fucking camera in my face. You see what I'm saying? So then it looks like I'm just this mean person, but I really don't want to do this show, but I really want to support you, but I don't want to do this show. And I feel like that's where Greg and some of the husbands are sometimes. Like, I want to be supportive, but I don't want to shoot this fucking show. And I think sometimes, like with Charles, they have to have these conversations that they've probably already had. Sometimes these conversations that they have on reality TV, they've already had them before. So now, so we know what's going on, they have to have the conversation again. So then I think that's where also another level of frustration comes into play. Like, girl, we done already talked about this, but we have to talk about it again because we have to talk about it for the show. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is I think that Greg did his best, but I also feel like, girl, just let Greg go. Girl, it's no shade. Girl, you ain't got no kids. He got 3 kids. He looking for a mattress, a maid, and a mule, and you give me you trying to be a businesswoman, want to be on the show. Like y'all clearly have 2 different directions that y'all want to go into. I think as of today, Greg and Kay are back together. I don't know how long it's going to work because, again, if you are with a man who expects you to basically have a hot meal on the table when he gets home, but you're also a working woman, I don't know how that's going to work. Because, bitch, if I'm working and you working, now she did say that her business pretty much runs itself, is on autopilot. So I mean, I guess, girl. But her mother basically doesn't want Kay with this man. I don't think she too much cares for her. I love the advice she gave her. She basically told her that she raised a black queen, and pretty much if he can't be your everything, and that bullshit about we had a good day today. Y'all need to have great, like, great needs to be great. Now, of course, we know relationships are gonna have ups and downs, but girl, if it's more downs than ups, girl, please. And that's pretty much what she was telling her. Girl, the downs outweigh the ups, baby. That nigga gotta go. Um. So Stacy and Ashley meet up. Oh, did I say Happy Eddie was bringing in the money? Yeah, Happy Eddie's doing good, baby. I think I did. I think I did say that earlier. Stacy and Ashley meet up. Let me tell y'all something. For the girls who don't know, Ashley was my favorite. Baby, I used to go up for Ashley secretly. I used to be nervous to tell people. Baby, Ashley was my bitch, baby. you, Ashley was my bitch. Yes, God, baby. I still got. I'm gonna always have a soft spot for Ashley. She's not my favorite no more, but I will always have a soft spot for Ashley. I don't care what none of y'all say. The girls get mad when I say that, but it is what it is. That's my girl. Okay. But even with that being said, I don't let nobody play in my face. Ashley is trying to get the people to believe, and some of y'all are buying it. I'm not. That after her divorce was finalized, she basically walked away with return on her investments. Before, she wasn't getting shit, but basically a credit card and access to the Uber Eats account. Remember, that's what she said. And I think he will swing her some child support. But outside of that, she wasn't getting nothing. Now all of a sudden, she wants us to believe that she managed to wiggle in a return on her investments. Could I see Michael probably giving her $100,000 or $200,000? I could see it. But past that, Ashley ain't just walked away with no coin. I don't believe it at all. At all. Return on what investments, girl? That kangaroo restaurant? What investments are, if you can tell us, if Ashley can get her black ass down to the TV and tell us that she ain't getting shit but a credit card and the Uber and access to the Uber accounts, she could tell us more information about the return of the investment she's talking about. What? The GNA? That was DOA? Girl, y'all went from athleisure wear to health and wellness. I'm not buying it. And the girls online talking about, oh, Ashley got half of the $20 million network. No, she didn't, girl. Y'all can't read. Girl. They ain't said nothing about that on the screen. They said Michael's net worth was $20 million, but they ain't said shit about Ashley getting half a part or a part of that at all. So I'm not buying it. Ashley probably walked away with a low six figures. Low. Girl, he probably gave her $100,000 and sent on her way. A little child support, access to the Uber Eats account, that credit card, and said, "Girl, gone." This is the thing about Ashley that I don't like, and this is a sticky stuff. This is a sticky situation about reality TV because this is where the girls' feelings start to get into, like, come into play, right? Because Ashley, you just met up with Stacy 2 weeks ago. But now that the cameras are up, now all this stuff, you want to throw all this stuff at Stacy's face about her relationship. I think it would be one thing if Ashley approached the situation like, girl, remember a couple of weeks ago when we met up and I was asking you about TJ? Well, girl, some of the girls in the free, some of the girls have questions about that. I was telling them that, girl, you told me X, Y, and Z. And I asked you about this. You see, I feel like it's different ways to go about it. But it does sometimes look like an ambush in a way when, bitch, I just hung out with you 2 weeks ago. And then the cameras come up and you have the most to say now that we're in front of the friend group. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And again, Ashley is the last one to be questioning me about a goddamn thing about my business. Because, girl, it took you 5 years to leave that goddamn girl skeleton over there named Michael Darby. Excuse me. Hold up. Meeting up at the shop supposedly tells her about the legal documents. Yeah, girl, that's it. She basically still wants Stacy to come clean about her relationship with TJ or lack of relationship, and Stacy is still not budging at all. Stacy is on, girl, I'm a victim. Girl, Stacy's giving you, when I tell you Stacy giving you like white woman, like real rich white, like on some real shit, like girl, I'm a victim. Girl, I'm a victim. He got over me. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Girl, like, this is horrible that you even continue to question me. Girl, it's very much given that. Like, Stacy is sticking to the script. Girl, she is not budging at all. And then one thing I don't like is that girl, okay, Stacy breath stank. Girl, it smelled like shit. Girl, it smelled like a trash box. She needs to carry some Altoids in her purse, basically, and some Listerine strips. Ashley has made reference to Stacy's breath stinking a few times throughout the episode. And when she had, girl, I thought that was my neighbor's. When I tell you I have a neighbor who be fucking they ass off, I swear to God, girl. Oh my God, I thought they was having sex again. Anyways, so, what was I saying? Girl, I got distracted. Oh, the girl, if her breath smells, Ashley keeps making reference to her breath not, makes her breath doesn't smell. I mean, her breath smells. But when she asks you, or when you have a chance to tell her, you don't say anything. But you want to keep talking about it amongst the group. Now, even one of the new girls, we'll get into her in a little bit, said that Stacy's breath smells too. So I'm prone to believe it because At first, I was like, "Girl, they're probably just being mean." But then when the new girl Angel said it, I like Angel. She's cool. Shout out to the new girls. You know, sometimes I be kind of like, "Girl, we're gonna give the girl." Sometimes it takes a while to warm up to the new girls, but I actually like Angel. I like Angel. But y'all see her husband? Bro. Girl, these niggas is fine. I don't even like big niggas like that. I don't. I mean, one, he's straight and he married. But I'm just saying, like a big dude like that, like, give me like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", girl. That's all I need. But girl, that's a big ass man. That's a big ass man. And he big and fine. I said, girl, Angel got her one, but girl, I said, girl, cause I said, shout out to her Angel. Yes. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought it's like, girl, we're really talking about Stacy's breath. It is what it is. The breath stink. Ashley has had more than a few times to tell her about her breath, but she doesn't. She just wants to talk shit about her behind her back. Whatever, girl. But she claims this is your friend. So the new girl, Angel Macy or Massey. She's friends with Kay. Her and Kay have been knowing each other since they were like 18 years old, I believe. Um, she's a journalist. They own a business called Wonderland, I believe. Her husband is a retired NFL player. They just moved back to Potomac. I believe they live in. I believe they live in Potomac. They just moved back to Potomac from Colorado. That's where she was born and raised. Um, she seems cool. She does. She seems cool. She seems cool. She basically says she knows Ashley. Ashley, you gotta catch a little shit she say. Angel is a little shady too. you gotta watch her. She says that she tells Kay they go on a walk. She tells Kay that Ashley was her bottle girl before. I said, "Come on, bottle girl." Um, she knows of Wendy, but she doesn't really know Wendy. She says that Wendy is several years older than her. It's shit like that you gotta catch. She's several years older than me. They basically went to Temple University together. She says that when she was coming in, Wendy was basically leaving, and that I think someone who was like a big sister to Angel, I think was cool with Wendy, but they don't really know each other. They just know each other's faces basically. Um, and then Kay is basically giving her a breakdown of the group. She's cool with Gizelle. Then she starts to talk about Wendy and her microaggressions. And I was so happy when Angel said, "Well, tell me about them." I love it. I said, "Come on," because if you're gonna tell me she being fun, if she funny acting, girl, tell me how she funny acting. You see what I'm saying? And then Kay started to give her examples. Um, I think one of them was they were going to the NAACP awards together, and I don't think that she knew Wendy was going until I think she arrived. Um, we'll get more to that in a little because I have a lot to say about Kay and Wendy. What I feel like is happening. I don't know. So, anyways, we have Tia. Tia is for real, for real, for real Nigerian royalty. I said, "Come on, bitch." Let me tell y'all something. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Y'all know I'm about to. Girl, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think it's that difficult to find one or two people to be a housewife. I don't. I don't. I'm not asking for y'all to have a full reboot. But you see how easy it was? Now, I ain't gonna say how easy it was, but I just don't believe that in the DMV they can't ever find one or two housewives that can fit the bill. You know? There are a couple of girls who actually could already be. You know who? I know I'm rambling right now. You know who I think could have been, who should be a housewife. I heard she tried out, but she didn't make the cut. Some of y'all didn't watch Love and Marriage DC. It was a girl named Ashley Silva. I think Ashley would be a good housewife. Ashley Silva would be a good housewife. Arena would be a good housewife. They're all there. Oh, I don't know if at one point Ashley, I think she quit Love and Marriage DC, but I think she came back. I don't know what's going on with Love and Marriage DC. But Ashley would be a good housewife. But like I said, I heard that they tried to get her on the show, but she didn't make the cut. And so I guess she eventually just went over to Carlos King production. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel like the girls can find, if there are girls out there, that's why when I look at Atlanta and they act like they can't find nobody, girl, I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe y'all can't find decent girls, at least one or two that could be a good housewife. I'm not believing it at all. I think that the casting is just lazy. Anyways, but yeah, shout out to Tia. She's prim and proper. She grew up with Rolls Royces, Nigerian royal family. She's in real estate, so shout out to her. Kay, you know what I think it is? Kay is a little too sensitive. We all sensitive. Well, I know I'm sensitive, but Kay is sensitive. So Stacy walks into, Ashley's having a party. I forgot all about the party. Ashley's having a party. It's basically a divorce party, basically. And so everybody's arriving at the party. Stacy arrives, and it was Stacy, Gizelle, Tia, Kay, and I think Angel. And she walked in, and I think she spoke to the girls, but she didn't speak to Kay. And Kay was like, "Hello, hey, hello." I said, "Oh, girl." I said, "Girl, you a little." Girl, y'all, you a little aggressive. Ashley was too. Y'all saw Ashley put her hand all up in all up in Stacy's face. I said, I think y'all playing with Stacy because y'all know Stacy really not a fighter like that. But girl, you would think, girl, no tea, no shade, Miss K. You would think, girl, from the last time your ass got hit upside the head with a motherfucking bottle, you'll keep your hands to the side. I believe Killer. Because last time we was walking around, girl, girl, you was walking around here, girl, dripping, girl, you had girl ketchup running down your fucking face. So you would think, girl, you want to keep your motherfucking hands down, girl. You still ain't learned your lesson. Now you walking around here with a permanent scar across your fucking skull. I'm just saying. And then you got Ashley, girl, put her finger all up in Stacy's face. I said, girl, y'all know who to play with. Girl, y'all know who to play with doing all of this. You know who to play with. But I'm gonna leave them alone though. Anyways, so Ashley, she finally comes downstairs. She can't walk down the stairs. It was a horrible entrance. That was the best I've ever seen Ashley look in 10 seasons. I swear to God. Girl, that's the best I've ever seen Ashley look. But she couldn't walk down the stairs. I thought it was funny when when she stopped at one point. Wendy said, "Why are you stopping?" She was like, "Because I just want you guys to look and stare." I thought that was kind of funny. And then I think they introduced her as Duchess. And when Angel said in the confessional, from bottle girl to Duchess, I love a come up story. Good for her. Oh, God. Anyways, so Gizelle and Wendy are talking. Wendy, of course, looks fab. She's best dressed, like always. And she's sitting down, and Gizelle says something about her dress resembling her dress from last year, the finale with the pink tulle dress. Girl, no. Girl, ain't nobody walking around here trying to look like Gizelle. Please believe. So Kay walks up, and Wendy is in the middle. Wendy and Gizelle are in the middle of talking. And mind you, Wendy has already made it to the party. I mean, Wendy made it to the party and spoke to everybody. So Kay walks up, and Wendy's talking to Gizelle, and you could hear Kay say, "Hey," and Wendy was finishing her sentence, and Kay was like, "Don't do that. That's a little rude." And Wendy was like, "What, girl? What, girl?" I'm sorry, and I'm not saying this because I go off for Dr. Wendy, but I was with Dr. Girl. What are you talking about? One, we already spoke. Two, you walk over here. I'm talking to Gizelle. I'm trying to finish what I'm saying. You say, "Hey," but girl, okay, girl. Like I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I really didn't. I could see if that was her first time seeing Wendy at the party. Didn't Wendy speak to Kay when she came in? I could have sworn Wendy spoke to Kay. I think she went around the circle and gave everybody a hug. I could be mistaken. Now, I will say, if Wendy didn't speak to Kay when she first walked in, then I could see how that could be rude. Okay? But you walking up like, hey, like we just didn't speak 5 minutes ago. Girl, I'm talking. What's up? Okay. So she says she wants to talk to Wendy. And it's, you know, like those people, and I feel like I might be this person too. Like, I sometimes don't say nothing. I just wait till all the shit builds up and then I just explode. That's not good. So I might be like a Kay, quiet as it's kept. Kay really hasn't been saying anything about the stuff that Wendy does. And so now it's building up, and now she has a problem. And so now it appears as though, like, girl, you just want to find an issue with Wendy, when her grievances could very, very well be valid. It's just as though she just hasn't said anything. But girl, that's also not Wendy's fault. Girl, you should say something, right? You should address it in the moment instead of just waiting. Because at some point, when you go to somebody and you're like, you did this, and this, they're probably going to be like, girl, shut the fuck up. You just, you know what I'm saying? Girl, like, girl, get the fuck out of my face. So, and that's kind of what Kay did. You know, we talk on the phone, but in public it's different. They went to some event together, and I think Wendy knew that Kay was a sponsor for the event, and Wendy was going to be a speaker, and Kay felt some type of way because Wendy didn't tell her. Because Wendy didn't tell her that she was going to be a speaker at the event. When they went to the NAACP Awards. Now, this shit was shady. I don't give a fuck what Dr. Wendy got to say. Hey, Dr. Wendy, I know you watch my videos, girl. That shit was shady when Kay said that when they got on the red carpet at the NAACP Awards, Dr. Wendy said something along the lines of, oh, girl, you have to do your own makeup. Bitch! I need to know how Dr. Wendy said it. Was it like, oh girl, did you find a makeup artist to do your makeup, or did you have to do it yourself? That's different, right? That's different from, oh girl, I see you have to do your own makeup. Like, I need to know how she said it. But I feel like the way that Kay said it is the way that Dr. Wendy said it, because when Wendy had the chance to say what she said in the confessional, she just kind of laughed at her like, girl, what are you doing? Okay, so you basically said. So I think this is the problem with Kay and Wendy, right? And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think Wendy has not dealt with these girls really since she got on the show. I think the only one that she was friendly with was Candace. I never looked at Candace and Wendy as friends. I think that they had an alliance. I think throughout the alliance, I do think they formed some type of friendship, but was it the friendship where they just hung outside of taping? They went out for cocktails? No. I think it was one of those things where, girl, these hoes don't like me. They don't like you. Girl, we're going to have to stick together. Right? And I think through that, because also Candace did introduce Wendy to the show, it's like, girl, I'm not about to introduce you to the show as my friend, and then, girl, we go against each other. You see what I'm saying? You know how Ashley did to Candace? Girl. So I think that's a part of it too. Like, girl, if we're going to be friends and build this friendship, let's build this friendship. Girl, we ain't got to be on the phone kikiing and cackling and giggling all day long. No. Do I think that Candace and Wendy like each other? Yes. Do I think that if they bump into each other in public, it's friendly, it's hey girl, what's up, what you been up to? Yes. Do I think they may text each other every now and again? Yes. But do I think they're just super close? No. I feel like with Kay, I think because Wendy was never just cool with this group, I think that her and Kay were friendly. I think they were friends probably prior to the show, maybe. But I don't think they were cool like that, like that, like that. And I think Kay wants them to be cool like that, like that, like that. And Wendy is like, girl, if I see you, if I see you. If I don't, I don't. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because at first I was like, Kay just trying to find a way to pick with Wendy, to fight with Wendy. And then I was like, let me try to look at it from Kay's point of view. Maybe Kay really does look at Wendy as a friend, and she doesn't like the way that Wendy shows up in the friendship. And if you don't like the way somebody is showing up in a friendship, girl, you should say something, right? I don't think that Wendy looks at the friendship the same way that Kay looks at the friendship. I think that Wendy and Candace had an understanding. I don't think Kay and Wendy have an understanding. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I feel like it do. I think that for a lot of these girls, they meet each other through the show. Didn't Gizelle and Robin kind of meet each other when they started filming? A lot of these girls meet each other through the show. And then they become friends or they don't become friends. I think that Candace and Wendy like each other. I think like last year when they finished filming, I think a lot of people thought Candace was coming back because Wendy and Candace, they went out one time. And I think they probably thought Candace was coming back. But I feel like it's just one of I don't think that Wendy and Candace have this boom type of relationship. It's not like we hate each other, but like we text probably once every 3 months. We might call each other once every 3 months. You see what I'm saying? We're friends. But if we don't call each other, girl, we're not gonna be butthurt either. I think Kay looks at Wendy's friendship a little bit differently than how Wendy looks at the friendship. A part of me feels like Wendy does look at these girls kind of like as co-workers. It's like y'all bitches ain't never fuck with me. I don't hang out with y'all outside of work. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's good or bad. But I'm gonna try to give Kay some understanding on why she feels the way that she feels about Wendy. I could, God. Oh, then she said at one point when Wendy saw her at the event, Wendy was on stage and she didn't speak. And Wendy was like, "Girl, you wanted me to like, I guess you wanted me to be like, hey, girl." Like, and Kay was like, you could have at least gave me like a head nod, a hey girl, a smile, or something. So she's basically saying Wendy is funny acting in real life. Basically, that's basically what she's saying. Wendy is funny acting in real life. Like, girl, we'll kiki on the phone sometimes, but then when I see you out in public, girl, it's like, girl, hey girl, and she keep on pushing it. And Kay don't like that. So again, maybe they just need to have a conversation about, girl, I guess that's what Kay is trying to do. Have a conversation about their friendship and how Wendy shows up. And then Ashley and Stacy get into it. But everybody hears them arguing outside. It's a mess. Like I said, girl, Ashley is the last person to ask me a motherfucking thing about any of my goddamn business. Girl, it took you 6 seasons to divorce that man. And nobody believed it. She even said it on a goddamn microphone when she was giving her little speech that nobody pretty much believed that she was getting a divorce. Girl, you ain't no better than Stacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, Stacy and Gizelle are the last two to say a goddamn thing. Yeah, I mean, Gizelle and Ashley are the last two to say a goddamn thing about anybody faking relationships or whatever the case may be. The last two. And what else, girl? Let me look over these notes. I think that's it, girl. I'm tired. Oh, excuse me. Karen is Potomac. Be clear. Gizelle's Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory $9,000 tear down cabin, baby. Ooh, the house is a mess. Stacy and her husband, girl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Stacy, Ashley. You know, another thing too, I will say, I don't necessarily think that the TJ. I don't feel like talking about TJ and Stacy anymore, girl. I don't care. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Stacy and Kay. I don't think they're cool anymore. But I also think it's because, girl, they approach the friendship differently. I think Kay was more probably invested in their friendship than Wendy was. I do believe that. I think that again, Stacy. I think that Wendy and Candace were on the same page. Girl, we cool. That's my sister. When we see each other, we see each other. When we hang out, we hang out. When we don't, we don't. Ain't no beef. And I feel like Kay was like, girl, hey, and Kay and Wendy be like, hey, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like, girl, why are you acting like that, girl? I said, like, I feel like it's one of those things. Anyways, but I could be wrong. But we'll see how their friendship plays out. And you know, I might have a change of heart. But I'm gonna try to give Kay, because at first I was like, girl, shut up. You just want to pick and fight. But I'm like, you know what? Let me try to see what Kay is talking about. I will say this though. I feel like Kay, we'll talk about this probably because I might be going live. My birthday is Wednesday, so we may go live and have some champagne. Um, but I will say I do believe that Kay might know that she's gonna look like a goddamn fool because I saw her down to the internet. I see some of the blogs are posting. I guess she went live on Twitter or Instagram, and she was talking about basically, I guess some people were saying that she is basically picking with Wendy. And you know, one of the telltale signs is when the girls start to run down to get ahead of the story before the story, you know, completely unfolds. And it's usually because, girl, they know how they're going to look. Hey, Monique. So I could see Kay probably looking like a fool at the end of the day because she's trying to get ahead of the story. Anyways, all right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.